and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party and Allied Congress Party of Nigeria also signed peace pact ahead of 2019 elections, challenged President Buhari to sign Electoral Amendment Act bill. Independent National Electoral Commission seeks to tackle vote buying, describes menace as a threat to the electoral process. U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria and popular musician Two-Face Idibia sensitized Nigerian youths on their roles in the conduct of the 2019 general elections. And UK Prime Minister Theresa May faces no confidence vote in Parliament over Brexit deal.
And on business news tonight, Nigeria's first gold refinery is set to be launched in Ogun State on December the 13th, following its successful completion.
And on sports news tonight, Nigeria's Super Sand Eagles qualify for the 2019 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Paraguay.
Hello, and from Abuja, Senate passes bill to establish Commission on the Development of the Southeast.
We begin tonight in Abuja, the nation's capital, where the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party and the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria today signed the peace accord initiated by the National Peace Committee. Now, shortly after signing the peace deal at the committee's secretariat in Abuja, the PDP candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar applauded President Buhari's decision to sign the accord. However, both Alhaji Abubakar and the ACPN candidate Obieze Kwesili stressed the need for the president to sign the Electoral Act into law.
A day after President Muhammadu Buhari and some other presidential candidates endorsed the peace accord initiated by the Abdulsalami Abubakar-led National Peace Committee,
I'm glad I brought your Excellency.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is here at the office of the National Peace Committee to sign the peace accord in demonstration of his commitment towards a peaceful general election in 2019. Having signed the accord, the former vice president demands the signing of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by President Buhari.
The best way to guarantee peace in any election or any human interaction is to ensure manifest justice to all concerned. I'm delighted that Mr. President has agreed to sign this peace accord. But we want to appeal to him to also sign the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Mr. President needs to understand that as long as he refuses to sign this bill, we will have doubts that this government is truly committed to a free, fair, and credible elections.
The presidential candidate of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria is also here to append her signature to the document. Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili advocates the need for a transparent election, as she also insists on the signing of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by the president.
The first thing that the president needs to do in order to build trust amongst all candidates in the election is to sign the Electoral Amendment Bill 2018 into an act.
The peace accord initiated by former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar and Bishop Matthew Kuka is aimed at ensuring that candidates run issue-based campaigns at national, state and local government levels, including speaking out against provocative utterances and all acts of electoral violence.
The menace of vote buying is a threat to any electoral process and is capable of destroying the milestones achieved by democracy. A National Commissioner of INEC stated this in Abuja at a roundtable on the incidence of vote buying and vote trading and implications for the elections next year. Our correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
Vote buying is as old as the voting tradition and has been identified as one of the major threats to the democratic process. After the recent public hearing by the Nigerian Senate on vote buying, the conversation continued at the Electoral Institute in Abuja. Some writers posit that viewing vote buying as strictly transactional restricts the ability to properly understand and find solutions to it. The INEC National Commissioner agrees with this position.
Unless we can begin to organize and structure political parties in such a way that they can deliver social goods instead of serving merely as vehicles for personal aggrandizement of politicians, no amount of moralizing about the evils of vote buying can lead to its containment, much less to its elimination.
A lawyer and human rights activist spoke on 3 levels where vote buying occurs and how voter apathy creates the perfect market for vote buying.
Now, in any election, the number who turn out to vote is likely to be fairly low compared to the number of registered voters. While this is often described as voter apathy, that makes assumptions about the reasons why people get registered to vote in the first place. Many of those people who get registered may not have any intention of voting, but they can be mobilized to do so if their vote is bought, hence vote buying. And this is why the take the money but vote your conscience appeals may be of only limited effect.
Other speakers at the round table fault the laws on vote buying in Nigeria.
To begin, I think that restricting vote buying to election day is not an oversight. I've made that point. We believe it is on purpose. We have also intentionally reduced vote buying to money. We have to expand the scope of its definition from the current silo definition to embrace all its current devious manifestations.
Vote buying is a crime, punishable under Nigeria's Electoral Act. What's interesting is just one level of vote buying seems to be the focus, and that's the one that happens on election day. But there are other levels of vote buying. For instance, the one that happens between our legislators, and then there's the infamous vote buying that happens during party primaries. Are the laws in Nigeria shying away from these levels of vote buying? Well, engagements such as this one will continue in the run-up to the 2019 general elections to ensure civic awareness and voter education to bring an end to the menace of vote buying in Nigeria. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
And as we still look at the elections, as electoral officials get set to conduct the 2019 elections, Nigeria's social influencers are engaging youth ahead of the polls. Popular entertainer Two-Face Idibia joined hands with the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Stuart Symington, in making a case to Nigerian youths concerning their key role in the process. Influencers made their views known to a gathering of youth organizations at the 2019 General Elections National Peace Conference in Abuja. Our correspondent, Ajuri Ngalale, reports.
A unique combination of personalities would form the composition of a gathering which mirrored a cross-section of Nigerian society, all to discuss a topic that is relevant to everyone in Nigeria, the 2019 general elections. Addressing a group of youth organizations, Nigerian entertainer Two-Face Idibia implored young Nigerians to take the long view in assessing candidates for elective positions, as well as their own involvement in electoral processes.
Before the elections, you must constructively participate in the electoral process. Say no to politicians who offer you money to perpetrate violence or sell your votes. As we say in Nigeria, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Every young person has a bright future ahead of them and should not allow anyone take that away from them in the name of politics or elections. Do not sell your votes. Selling your votes is selling your future.
U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Stuart Symington, implored Nigerian youths to effectively evaluate their worth and function in the national development process.
Not just you all on election day. What kind of leaders will you be tomorrow and this afternoon? Will you make sure that everybody that you know knows what the basic rights are of every voter? Will you share the notion of what 4,000 naira is divided by 4 years full of days and say, don't sell yourself for 30 pieces of silver and don't sell yourself for a couple of kobo?
The 2019 polls are sure to create a lot of changes in the public service sector, but ultimately whomever emerges will require the input of the next generation if subsequent development is to truly be sustainable. Ajuri Ngilale, reporting for Channels Television News.
The Niger Delta Development Commission is seeking the U.S. government's support in enhancing peace and security in the Niger Delta before, during and after next year's elections. The NDDC Managing Director, Nsima Ekere, who hosted the U.S. Consul General John Bray at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, emphasized the need for credible elections to achieve sustainable development in the oil-rich region. The visit to the NDDC MD, who is the APC governorship candidate in Akwa Ibom State, is part of the U.S. Consul's interactions with political stakeholders towards achieving credible polls.
What we're looking for in 2019 is free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections across Nigeria. So as part of that, we're visiting key figures. We're talking. We're trying to figure out the best way our government and our team can engage with Nigerians, with candidates, with INEC, with the security services as we go into the election. But that's the purpose of our visit today.
We expect that in your usual manner, the U.S. government will look out for us. We have specific concerns in the Niger Delta, particularly during the election period like this. And it's purely primarily in the area of security. Because a lot of the youths, maybe because of the challenges of unemployment and poverty, they lend themselves to be used by politicians as a political thugs. And, it's a real challenge to safety and to security.
The All Progressives Congress lawmakers in the House of Representatives have vowed to block any attempt by the House to override President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to withhold assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The federal lawmakers also vowed to stop any attempt by the lower legislative chamber to override Buhari's veto on the bill. Addressing journalists at the National Assembly today, House Leader and Chairman of the APC Representatives Caucus, Femi Gbajabiamila, said President Buhari was right to have withheld his assent to the bill.
Mr. President has done well. The Constitution, if you study the Constitution very well, I believe it's Section 57, it does not oblige the President to give any reason for veto. All he has to do is return it and say, I'm not signing, I'm withholding my assent. He doesn't have to give you any reason. But every time he has done that, he has brought forward cogent, verifiable reasons why he is not signing. On this particular one, I believe the thrust and the spirit and the reason why Mr. President has refused to sign, which we identify with, is that every vote must count in Nigeria. We've been mouthing this thing, singing this thing for ages. Well, very much with the issue, I think the National Assembly should perfect the document, send it back. Mr. President will sign it. There's no question about that. That's our position.
What if PDP members insist? Do we expect a showdown or something like that?
No. Lawmaking is not about insisting. Lawmaking is about numbers. If they're able to muster 2/3 and they want to push it through, there's nothing we can do. But as a party, we're not going to be part of the and you cannot also, like I said earlier, override an imperfect document. It makes no sense. It's garbage in, garbage out.
In part two, after the break, All Progressives Grand Alliance governorship candidate in Abia State, Alex Oti, asked Nigerians to vote for candidates genuinely interested in changing the country's fortunes. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.